This episode is sponsored by Battlefront.com, now with new lower shipping prices.
Good morning and welcome to The Weekender! I have to start this with a very serious apology.
Oh.
Last week's show, we received a comment.
Oh, yeah.
For any of you backstagers, tomorrow you're going to see I got my balls busted a lot last week. So prepare yourself for tomorrow, backstagers, because I think I've got some serious groveling to do. But I have to start groveling here because we got a message. We got a message comment from Grana Priego. And Grana Priego says, "Those t-shirts annoy me. The big boss does not have to wear one, just the minions. Talk about belittling your staff."
I'm not sure what accent you were doing there, but
so
I'm fairly sure.
Obviously, the big boss was the only fat guy on the show. That must be me he's talking about there. So, Grana Priego, I sincerely apologize. I would never force any of my staff, team members, to wear a t-shirt.
Wait.
Never.
That is not what you said last week.
What? No! Don't bring that up! Don't bring that up! I thought that was just between us, man! I thought that was just between us!
We were just confused when you turned up that day, went, wear this, I'm taking it.
Wear this! No, thank you very much for the comment. I know exactly what's happened there, though.
Yeah.
We have, where's me Ben? Bring me Ben back. Oh, I feel better now. So we have obviously we are transitioning and introducing a new brand of OnTableTop. So we got everybody a bunch of t-shirts and stuff like that. And it was just basically, here you go. This is your bundle. Wear them as you like. Okay? Now, here's the thing. The operative word in your comment was big. Okay? So the thing about it is, the younger, thinner whippersnappers feel really good in that stuff because they make it look good, whereas I make it look all wibbly. Okay, so thank you very much for pointing that out. Why do you think I wear the cap? Because my head doesn't make it look wibbly, but my tits and belly make the logo look wibbly, man. So
you've got curves, man.
So this is more about me trying to find the right version of the shirt, okay? When I get it, because I'm a big dude, and big dudes need to wear black and layers.
Warren is the only one whose shirt is in vertical stripes.
So thanks for that, man. If anybody's being belittled here, I wish I was little, so I could be little and then wear the shirt without it looking all wibbly, okay? So, but yes.
I actually just got a new shirt. I'm all prepped for when I get to be a GM.
There we go.
The
everyone dies
new
shirt.
GM, rock falls, everyone dies.
So you will be pleased to know that there are even more shirts on the way. The guys got together with some samples, some sample swatches and stuff, and have pulled together some of the weirdest concoctions of colors that I have ever seen.
We made sure that Justin was in another room when we put together the order list.
So the pink with zebra skin pattern is not far away,
and it's not far off actually.
So bear with us. Yes. No. There's. I'm just waiting for the right shirt. When I get the right shirt, believe me, I'll be here, and I will have it there. Do you know what, Grana Priego? Send me your address, and I'm going to send you one of my shirts, okay? And you can have that. So get in touch, claim a prize. You're a winner. Claim a prize. Do not make a habit of slagging me off to get t-shirts, guys. But claim a prize. Come in, send me your address, and we will post you a shirt so that you can see for yourself. And then the next time you're watching The Weekender, you won't feel annoyed because you'll be wearing one as well. So get in touch. There's a t-shirt coming your way.
You get to be a minion as well. We take offense at that. We're henchmen, thank you.
Yes.
Goons.
Yeah, we're goons.
We're not minions, they're henchmen. Goons, yes.
Yeah, we are high-class goons.
Okay, later today, well, this is Saturday. We put this out early in the morning. But later today, the guys, we have sent Justin and John and Coco have went to Battlefront's Open Day, and they're going to be live blogging from that all day to bring us the latest from Battlefront. Hence why John's there for some tanky goodness and some Gale Force 9 stuff. And that's why Coco and Justin are there to see what's happening on the board game side of things.
Did you see what the event-exclusive miniature is?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's a rocking Doctor Who. Do we have a picture of it?
I'm afraid we don't.
We'll bring up a picture.
Yes. This is an actual moment in the series where the Doctor rides out into a medieval combat area playing the guitar on a tank.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
I thought you said to bring my axe.
If you can't be there, don't worry about it. We're live blogging all day. Tune in and see what the guys have got up to. Right, we have a terrain challenge underway at the moment. It's going to last all summer, so I don't think we're even going to look at picking winners until September. So you have time to get stuck in. The challenge is called The End Is Nigh. Ben, do you want to take us through what the challenge is this time around?
Yeah, so this is going to be a challenge allowing you to create terrain that is based around anything to do with the end is nigh. So this could be post-apocalyptic, it could be historical, it could be a whole range of different things. Be the most inventive that you can be when it comes to the terrain you're building for this. And it's all done in conjunction with the guys at Foreground. If you missed last week's Weekender, we're going to a lot more detail about what it's all about. It's going to start on the 23rd of June, and it's going all the way until the 31st of August. I think there are 4 £50 vouchers for Foreground up for grabs, which is very cool. And the categories are going to be best idea, best skill, best tutoring, and junior. If you're going to be a junior entrant, make visible in the title of your blog post or anything like that on the forums or in the project system as well. Everything must be tagged with the words terrain challenge if you want to be entered into this as well. But yes, as I said, the end is nigh is the big thing about this. So anything post-apocalyptic, doomed, and anything like that will qualify for something like this. Absolutely. So get stuck in and see what you can put together. So.
Yeah. So if you fancy spending the summer building a bit of terrain, the categories are designed specifically to give everyone a chance. So. Best idea means it doesn't matter how good your execution is. It's just about, was it a cool idea?
One of the cool ideas I have actually had is that it would be a ruined battlefield, dead bodies everywhere, and there is one single survivor left standing with his sword raised above his head, about to decapitate one final soldier. So the end is nigh for that one guy. I thought that could be very cool. So yeah.
I could take that a step further.
Go for it.
I think that would be a really powerful piece. If you had a battlefield, loads of dead bodies, and one single soldier about to take his own life with the sword.
Yeah.
Oh,
the end is nigh.
I see what you mean.
So that he's he's looking around. Everything that he's cared about is gone. He feels this is it. He's the last person alive. It's that whole I Am Legend kind of thing. I love those movies where it's kind of like end of the world kind of movies,
like The Mist. The adaptation of the Stephen King.
Love The Mist. Walking Dead is another one, because you do wonder what would make you struggle on, what would make you push on through. You never know yourself until you get into a situation like that, and God forbid we ever get into a situation like that. But I kind of think I'd be one to push on, but you never know. Because I'm always curious as to what's around the next corner, and I wonder, would you lose that if you have an innate curiosity for things and always wondering what's next? I wonder when you're faced with thinking you're the only one left, and the end is nigh. So there's so much opportunity. So it's all about post-apocalyptic, end of the world kind of stuff. You can have a lot of fun with that. Yeah,
for me, I would actually like to see it taken a bit more literally. And go right back. I believe I mentioned it last week. The first post-apocalypse novel after London. I would love to see, because in that the main character stumbles upon the remains of London, which is basically a toxic swamp, and it becomes this fever dream-like segment. The rest of the novel is a bit boring, but as soon as he steps into London and the fumes and the crumbling ruins around him, it's just this terrifying fever dream in some ways.
Oh, it's all,
I'd love to see that created.
On Monday, we have the Kursk article series kicks off. It's going to be lasting for 5 weeks. Kursk, if you haven't seen it, go and check out last week's show. Kursk, the largest battle mankind has ever witnessed. And it was put to me like this: if we ever see a battle that large again, it will be the last battle that's ever fought.
Whoa.
Wow.
Because by today's weaponry and today's technology, if there's ever the circumstances that cause a battle of that size to be fought again, it will be the end of us.
Awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
In a cool way.
Yeah. We're really going on a downer in this episode, aren't we? So
we're all doomed.
We're all doomed. Have fun.
So the Kursk article series is going to look at Kursk. It's the largest tank battle and the largest battle ever that has ever taken place, and look at how we can transfer that to the tabletop and different games and stuff you can play in at different levels. Down into the minutiae of it and up in the higher level. Next Friday is Hobby Night Live!
The return!
We are back for a live show. We're going to be announcing the winners of the winner of the Celestial Painting Challenge. If you haven't seen this yet, there's a $10,000 prize. It's an invitational. And we've had 10 of quite possibly the best painters in the world have been taking part in this. We have them all here, and on Friday night we're going to be looking through them with you guys, and we're going to get the results of who won the Celestial Painting Challenge.
If you haven't seen this stuff already, it is worth checking out. Type Celestial into the search bar. You'll find all of the judges' comments articles, the different interviews we've started to film, and the written interviews as well.
Come across to bsupport.com, and these guys will have them in the show notes. Yes. Let's put them in the show notes.
We'll put them in the show notes.
Hobby Night Live on Friday, because whenever we're not doing that, we're going to be hobbying. We're going to be giving away a Hobby God bag. We're going to be interacting with you guys. We want you guys to do some hobbying with us on the night. And it's a lot of fun. And we also have a couple of special gins that we're going to try on the night.
Now,
I even have some of my gin of my own now. Because I was sent some because you guys were hoarding it all. So now I have some special gin as well, sent by a lovely community member.
Well, there we go. We're all going to be
get ginned up with the rest of you.
We're going to gin it up on the Friday night, guys. So be sure to come and join us.
Now, we do actually have some unpainted versions of the Celestial miniatures knocking around the office. So maybe we can take a crack at that while on our gin, if we can even reach our paintbrushes.
We should do that. We should set John the challenge and say, John, what can you do
while drunk?
While on gin to the level of the Celestial Painters.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled with that one.
We should wind him up. We should say, you still have a chance of winning the $10,000 prize. John would hit me. He would go, don't even talk to me. Right. It's time for you, Per, to take me and all the rest of us on an amazing journey through the world of tabletop gaming. What's been happening this week?
Cool. So the first piece we're going to be looking at is from a company that I hadn't really heard of until this week, called Grenn Games. Now, they do a game called Atlantis Point, which is a card-driven strategy game on the tabletop that works with miniatures all the way back from sort of ancient times through to the modern era, and it works in a whole variety of different scales as well. But the interesting thing they've been working on is they're going to be taking a project to Kickstarter very soon to produce their own very, very high quality and high detailed plastic Romans. So as you can see from here, we've got a couple of preview images. They have said they're going to be doing a lot more sort of high res stuff in the near future, showing off the models in a lot more detail, obviously. But these, from what we're seeing so far, are looking very, very cool indeed. So if you like your ancient wargaming and you like the idea of playing around with 15mm Romans in some very, very cool looking miniatures here, then yes, there's some very cool stuff coming your way. Yeah, very nice indeed.
Oh, very nice.
For 15mm, the detail on those is superb, very crisp.
Yeah, it was very nice seeing what, for example, companies like Battlefront have been doing, where they've adopted 15mm in plastic for a lot of their stuff as well now, and you see the level of detail going up tenfold, and you lose a lot of the whole sort of bobbly head syndrome that a lot of these models used to have.
Yes.
And they're looking a lot more true and less heroic, which is very cool. So,
Nice. Next up, we have Marsh from Room 17 Games.
Yeah, so Marsh is a board game that's coming to Kickstarter on July the 2nd from Room 17 Games. We talked to these guys during UK Games Expo, and this is a Kickstarter page that is open for you to go and preview right now. So if you're interested in the game after we've had a little chat about it, you can go and check it out, feedback to the creators, look at the rule book, watch some videos of gameplay and all that kind of thing as well. But the whole idea of this game is that you're going to be playing as a variety of bog goblins, and one of the big things about this is that all of them are going to be asymmetrical in sort of style and techniques. So when you're playing as them, they're all going to play very, very differently, and you're going to be wandering around the Marsh trying to become the goblin king of it all and take control of it. So there's lots of exploration in there, lots of fighting, lots of backstabbing, lots of trading, and all sorts of things like that. It's gone down very well with a lot of previewers and reviewers so far, so if you go and check that out, some very nice stuff as well. And the sculpts are looking awesome. Angel Heraldez has painted some of them up for the studio version as well, which is very, very nice. And yeah, as I say, looks very cool if you want to try and use these in other games as well as Marsh. So yeah, very nice.
Oh, I love goblins. Goblins have to be the best crack of any of the fantasy, creatures. I think that they're absolutely brilliant. We also have new bombers. We've been waiting on these new bombers coming through for Blood Red Skies. So this is 4 new bombers that are coming through at the moment. They're based on the Zvezda line of miniatures.
Yes.
But they come with 3 bombers per box, which is kind of cool. So we're gonna. Which ones do we have, Ben?
So yeah, this just to go back for a second. This was one of the things that come up in the comments that yes, these are based on the old existing sculpts from Zvezda. The word I can't say, but they're being repackaged into those 3 that you get there with all the extra gubbins that you need to play Blood Red Skies. So a lot of people are asking about the costing of these because it seemed a little high, but that's because you get 3 of them, not just 1.
Yeah.
But yes, they've got a whole bunch of them here to show off already. So there's the Bristol Blenheim, which is very, very nice, the Mark IV. There's the Junker Ju-88A, which is one of the German planes. We've also got the Junker Ju-52, which is the German transport aircraft. So that's going to be for dropping paratroopers and stuff into the field of battle. So you'll be trying to take those down as your fighter planes, which would be very cool.
Yeah.
And then there's also the Soviet Tupolev SB-2 bomber as well. So some interesting bombers already there. One of the other big things is that Warlord Games have already talked about showing off Hurricanes. So Hurricanes are going to be coming very, very soon.
Cool.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, Lancaster bombers as well, because I goddamn love myself a Lancaster bomber.
That is beautiful stuff. If you haven't tried Blood Red Skies, come across to beast4.com and check it out, because we have Let's Plays and stuff like that for it. It's just a great game. It's so much fun. Osprey have been in touch. They are working on a new Cyberpunk skirmish game, Ben.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about Cyberpunk last weekend, and it's something that we'll be talking about tomorrow in terms of like rule sets that you can use various miniatures for. Yeah. And this is going to be a new one coming out of Osprey by the guy that wrote This Is Not a Test, which is a very, 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 very well regarded game by Joseph Maguire. Now, his kind of mechanics and the rules behind that are going to be fueling this new skirmish game called I can't remember what it's called now. I've completely forgotten what it's called. Reality's Edge. Cyberpunk skirmish rules. Yes. So this is going to be coming out, I think it's next year now in 2019. But it's got the core mechanics behind it that this is not a test, so it's tried and tested. But it's going to be set as you playing gangers in the sprawl, trying to take control of various areas of the city and do all your cyberpunk weirdness and all that kind of thing. A lot of people are asking about miniature range that you could try and use for getting stuck into this.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very scale broad in that sense, so you can play with sort of 28mm through to 32 probably. But a lot of people were suggesting the likes of the human interface range, which was done as part of a board game, which would be very, very nice.
The hint stuff would be great, yeah.
Yeah, and also hassle-free do a lot of very cool miniatures that could be used in this kind of style of cyberpunk sort of investigators and things. So check those out as well if you want to. And of course, there are plenty more out there too.
Well, even some of the necromancer kind of stuff. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, or the Fallout minis. It could be another one. Yeah,
Fallout. Yeah, anything like that. Anything that's got kind of like bits of cybernetics attached to characters. That kind of works for everything that you're doing here. So yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Mantic's Fantasy Terrain crate is landing in July. What do we know about it, Ben?
Yeah, so this is the stuff that was previously on Kickstarter. Now it's going to be coming out on July the 2nd. So if you want to pick up all the kind of stuff that they're doing for that, you can go and check out all the pre-orders for that kind of thing. You can see some of the painted examples in the news piece that we've done for that one there. But as a sort of background to this, all of these terrain crate ideas are kind of hard plastic selection to terrain that you could use for dungeon delving. For example, if you're playing something like Dungeon Saga or D&D or Gloomhaven or something like that, or even going back to HeroQuest as well.
Yeah.
You can pick up some really, really nice hard plastic terrain that's kind of pre-colored already. It's usually in sort of greys or browns, so it kind of mixes already for dungeons and sort of outside worlds as well. But yes, it paints it very nicely. It's kind of in the same material that you've seen them using stuff for The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So when you saw some of the cars that they created for that and that kind of thing, it's that very, very nice, high detailed stuff. But yes, it's looking absolutely fantastic. Really nice for setting up scenarios and treasure dumps and all kinds of things like that. Very good for objectives on the battlefield as well. So if you're playing a big fantasy war game, you could use some of these like large amounts of treasure and all that kind of thing or something like that, or the gateway as something you need to protect as well. So yeah, it's very multi-purpose. Looks very, very cool as well. So go and check that out and see what you think. Yeah. There's quite a few more sets than what you see there on the news piece as well. So I think there's about, I would say 12 to 15 sets for you to go and check out.
I love this stuff. Yeah, I absolutely love this stuff. The terrain crate stuff that Mantic did was a great idea, but this is every dungeon delver's dream, right?
Yeah.
Just having a collection of this stuff just sitting handy. You can just chuck it down for your RPG sessions, or even just pollute a board with it, and have your mass battles fighting in around it. Oh, it'd be great, absolutely great.
It's one of the things that Warren you've already always said about dungeon delving, that it's nice to take it above the tiles and make it a little bit 2.5D, and that's kind of what these things do. So it's very good.
I just want to take one of those crates, give it legs, and have that as the luggage.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So definitely, if you stay tuned on July 2nd, because the Fantasy Terrain Crate is going to retail. So if you fancy picking that up, stay tuned for that. Okay. You guys, or at least you, Sam, are going to take a look at a Kickstarter that's running.
Yes.
We have a prototype of it here, and we have some miniatures, which are, wow, you want to check these out. So you're going to take a little moment to have a look at the Legends of Signum.
My name's Gareth from Partner Miniatures, and you're watching The Weekender on beastsofwar.com.
Hello everyone, I am joined by Evgeny, who is here to tell us a bit about the new Legends of Signum Battle for Valor, which is currently on Kickstarter. Evgeny, thanks very much for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Evgeny Shkut. I'm one of the Legends of Signum developers team, and we are not a very big team of developers from Ukraine, but we think we're doing a great job. So thank you very much. It's a big pleasure.
Yeah, well, the game itself looks absolutely superb, and as we said, it's currently on Kickstarter. I'll just bring it up on the screen here quickly. We have looked at this, we glanced at this previously before, but the models are beautiful. It's a very cool game.
Yes, they producing from high quality resin from one of the companies of United States. It's not just a cheap resin, and the way of producing with such approach to make the best possible appearance and good looking, to give the special appearance and unique special look to every miniature, and to maintain this spirit in every single our miniatures. And in addition to our game, which is also it's a very, very good designed game with the miniatures.
Yeah, oh well, I have a few of the miniatures sitting in front of me. We've had John feverishly building them all. Good work, John. We will get round to showing them off because, well, yeah, I can't resist. I've got to show off one of them. Look at them.
Yes, thank you for your assessment. It's very important for us because people are our admirers and fans just telling us that they're awesome, and that motivates us to doing better and better from day to day.
Well, first of all, can you tell us a bit about this game? What is happening in Battle for Valor? What is the story?
So the story is very big. So we have our own war. this is the game where presented now 2 factions. In this edition, only 2 factions. It's Free City of War and Holy Grifarim Empire, which are facing each other. And also third, if we could call it also faction, it's a natural faction, Dogs of War, mercenaries.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. And this is the battle between Holy Grifarim Empire. It's angel-like creatures. They have some griffins, they have some human. It's kind of like hybrids between them. Given by goddess gave this to Grifarim, this this possibility to have this hybrid, to be in hybrids.
Yeah.
And to have special skills. And they attack little city-state of war, were surrounded and gathered different races, different creatures and characters, and this is the city where the people who joined this city could start all over again, and the Grifarim leaders just don't like this city and think that they need to be purified from from the city, because they gather it and give to live there many different races, and from ogres to orcs, from humans to elves, and many different races surrounded in gathered in one city. So this is the battle between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, go on. Sorry.
Yes, exactly. In the battle, what we represent in the battle. This is the unique genre of the game, skirmish war game, in one battle with collectible card game. So first of all, you will have a battlefield 60 by 60 centimeters, and you have built your own deck. But in core box, in our basic box, you have only 2 heroes of factions and already built decks, two decks. And after all, you need to place your hero. In the game presented 6 heroes in all amount of heroes. So you need to place on the battlefield your hero, and then you doing some things with your cards. You need to shuffle your deck. You need to mulligan, and in this from characters. This miniatures on the battlefield. So you need to draw this miniature in your cards, and they play this card. And then you will be allowed to summon miniatures on the battlefield, exactly on the battlefield. But besides the miniatures, you also have support cards, which are presented on boosters. That is why this collectible card game. Only support cards are presented in boosters. Support cards, it's spells, tactic cards, and relic cards. Spells is just the common spells. You can doing the things with interact with creatures or buildings or something. I will talk about the buildings a little later. Tactic cards, it's kind of secret card. It works only during the movement of your opponents, and when some conditions will be met. So, for example, if he summons a miniature, you previously played a tactic card, just face down on the deck. You need to show that you played this card. And for example, this his next summoned creature will be back to his deck, so it would be summoned, and many other mechanics with tactics. And the last one is are relics. Relics types of armor, cloaks, and sword. Allows strengthen your and allows him to fight with more power.
Yeah, I see.
And the last thing is yeah.
Yeah, I see. So the relics
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, the relics
Yeah,
are what you can equip
and
your hero with.
one
Yes?
more type of cards.
Yeah.
So, for example, there are common card, and you can compare the size of the second type of cards.
Mm-hmm.
This is open deck building cards, which allows you to build your empire, to build your city or empire. And for example, basic city consists from different base buildings like a smithy, barracks, tavern, school of magic, library, and many others, which allow to summon many different characters. So, for example, common archer will be summoned with range, and other buildings in combination to summon particular character, which describe it on the card. So, for example, you have on the left left top side you can see the cost of the card. So the buildings allow to summon creatures with its cost. And the last one thing is the currency. The main currency in the game is prosperity coins, for which you construct the buildings. And this is one of the winning special winning requirements, win conditions, when you need or to defeat your opponent's hero,
Yeah.
or to accumulate 51 prosperity points. So there are two win conditions. So this is your decision on or to be a warrior, aggressive warrior, or to be economist to accumulate the currency. Because to war you need to use your prosperity points, you need to construct buildings, you need to summon characters. So this is the very big difference between these two win conditions.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this game. I do love it's definitely a hybrid. I love how you're integrating the collectible card elements with the miniatures and with the city building side of things as well. That is something I'm particularly excited to see on the tabletop.
Yes, thank you for assessment. We're also very excited, and for example, when I'm going to my hometown to meet my family, I still can't enough to play with my brother, with my family, with my friends in this game. They also, so it is very great, and I look forward for the November when we will try to deliver, to ship our to begin our shipping to our fans, to give them this game they will assure that this game is awesome, not only on the videos but in practice as well.
So I've got a few of the models sitting here. I can't wait to show them off. And I know you were talking about how the City of Valor in particular has a lot of different races all grouped together. It's very cosmopolitan. So if I just go to my camera here, we'll see we've got a sort of werewolf-looking fella. What appears to be a very very gribbly gnome, who I absolutely adore. This is brilliant. And then someone with tentacles going on.
Yeah. Merkar.
They're very well detailed models. Who was your sculptor?
There's one sculptor, only one person who doing this, and I can tell you that he is big master. Big master, and he has no bad reviews. Not bad reviews for his job. Never had bad reviews. So
I can definitely believe that. I've just reached and found one of the other Grifferim, I think. This is appears to be some sort of knight carrying a banner, riding a griffin, and the posing is perfect. There is a lot going on with this.
Yeah, poses, high detailing, minimal details. I think not only details, but also the quality of solid. So this is not, the thing which would be easy to damage, to drop, and it just be brittle, and this is not about our miniature. So there are also many people who already bought our miniatures thought that they also seems like solid, not brittle miniature. So
Yeah.
in addition to appearance,
Yeah, that's a very important thing, especially if you're taking the game around with you a lot.
Yeah.
So, what exactly do they get in the starter box? How many miniatures can people expect to find in there?
Miniatures, it's around 40 miniatures, if I'm not right. And the deck consists from not 40, pardon, 20. And all amount of additional things like cards. It's 40 cards, 40 cards of miniatures and support cards. Also building cards, terrain. I forgot to say about terrains. The representing terrains, it's like forest, rocks, catacombs, bottomless well, for example, or magical spire, which allows to also build your strategical way to play the game. Also many support stuff like rulers, tokens, markers, and battlefield. But battlefield presented in basic sets only from paper, but in our add-ons you can get acquainted with more quality game mat, which is made from I'm not get right which made from, but I completely could say that it's much more quality.
Yeah, I was just taking a quick look over the Kickstarter there as well. And I see there are also some starter boxes available for Valor and what was the other faction? The Griffarim Empire?
The Holy Empire of Griffarim.
That was it, yeah. So what other things can people find on the Kickstarter?
Yeah, Kickstarter, also in addition you can find many additional miniatures as our add-ons. They're presented not only like for both factions, but also as mercenaries, which can be used for both factions. So the people could, in addition for their faction, add them to their army. Also, our Kickstarter exclusive. So our game is presented like a collectible card game, but only for our Kickstarter fans. We have decided to give players a chance to collect all the cards in one pack. So for the paying for one additional one add-on, they allow to receive the complete card pack.
Wonderful.
From support cards pack. So they don't need to buy boosters, many boosters, and many boosters just to collect, to find the searchable card, the necessary cards they want.
Now,
but this is only during Kickstarter.
Now, as I'm a big fan of collectible card games. I love my boosters, but I do know that's one thing that puts people off collectible card games. So that's a pretty good move. Now, do you have a favorite character yourself?
My favorite character is Queen Zenobia.
Queen Zenobia?
Yes, Queen Zenobia. She is one of the leaders of Griffarim Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And she just I like to play her because it's not only because she looks great with her wings and her sword, but also she is very good and wise leader. She surround around her their army and allows to play defending tactic. I'm a big fan of defending tactic in Legends of Signum, and so she's my number one in this game.
Excellent. Well, I've definitely found my number one from among these. If I can just bring this up here. Have a little card sharp, who I absolutely love. This guy with a deck of cards spread over his head, curling up above him.
Okay, it's Reese.
Oh, what's his name?
His name is Reese.
Reese. And what can
Reese.
he do in the game?
He is a thrower. It's one of the archer's range shooter types. He throw his cards.
Oh.
Yes. So he is range shooter, but if compared to common shooters, just common archers shooters, he throw on a little bit less distance, but with more accuracy.
Now, I just realized looking there now, and I'm afraid this doesn't appear on the camera, but the suits of each of the cards are actually picked out on the sculpt. That is impressive.
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I love him, because as a kid I learned to card throw after watching too much of Gambit on the X-Men, so I am immediately sold, especially when you're told he's a card thrower. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on the show and telling us about this. Before we let you go, do you have a prize that we could give away to some of our viewers?
Yes, for the people. We have only one prize, and this is very, very exclusive thing. This is the miniature of Arya, avatar of goddess.
I think I've got her here on the screen.
Yeah,
that is beautiful.
The one god, Arya.
Yeah.
She can be appear by herself on the ground on the earth, but she use. The people, only the women who agree to let her came in the soul of the people and to be represented on the earth. So this is the avatar of the goddess, of the goddess area. Wow. And the prize will be for the only for the one people who comment. Comment please about your favorite miniature in our game. And just make some arguments why. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That is a beautiful figure. And I look forward to seeing what our community does with the painting of that. So, if you want a chance to get Arya, the avatar of the goddess, be sure to head to beastsofwar.com or OnTabletop.com and leave a comment on this episode of The Weekender with your favourite Legends of Signum model and why that is your favourite. Okay, in the meantime, thanks very much for coming on board.
Yes, thank you. It was a big pleasure to speak with you. And you're also doing a great job.
Thank you. Okay, we'll carry on here and we'll get back to the rest of The Weekender.
Thanks for that. I love the miniatures. Myself and John have been drooling over those for a couple of days going, oh, they are really nice.
They are absolutely beautiful figures.
Yeah. And it was really nice to see those guys get the whole Kickstarter thing sorted out, because there was some trolling took place on those guys, and their Kickstarter got stopped. Not it wasn't cancelled, it was just like put on hold. Yeah. And then they had to, because somebody had filed a false copyright claim.
Yeah, they had some really bad luck there.
And it's something like that really can hurt a small company that's starting out. It's not cool, cool. But they came back, they fought it, and they got themselves back on. So well played to the guys behind Legends of Signum there. We're rooting for you. They have 6 days left on that Kickstarter, so if you like what you see on the minis, head over and and see if it's something that you fancy jumping in on. On the topic of Kickstarters, Solomon Kane is down to its last few days.
Yes.
Okay. Ben, we've had some big unlocks, and we also have the all-in pledges and things like that have been announced now as well.
Yeah, so Solomon Kane has gone full bore towards the last couple of days. They've been doing a lot more live streams showing off the gameplay. One of the big things they talked about over the last couple of weeks has been really centered around the idea of telling people a lot more about what the game actually is and exploring the nuances of it as well. Because, of course, this is a game that uses miniatures and everything like that, but it's more of a storytelling game, and it's more driven by that narrative aspect of things, as we've seen in our Let's Play as well, when Sam sat down with Az and the guys as well, showing off that game. But,
A lot of fun.
yes. Beyond that, yes, it was very, very cool. If you haven't seen that Let's Play, I'm going to link it down in the show notes so you can go check it out. I was following along with my fingers gripped into the table trying to see what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my god, I need to play this. But anyway, yes. What they've been doing with the Kickstarter, they've been adding a whole bunch of extra stuff on here with add-ons and all kind of things like that, with loads of expansions. There's the things like the Witchfinder General Quest, so they're going off and taking some of those very, very typical ideas of the Witchfinder and adding those into things. There's an Ogre Hunt, which looks fantastic, with an amazing-looking ogre that's been worked up for this by the amazing sculpting team behind the game. But the big thing for me is the larger story expansions that are coming out. For example, there's one called The Heart of Africa, and there's one which sets you up against the a whole bunch of vampires in a coven, and then there's the America, the New World story, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Now, this is one we looked at a little bit before on the site, maybe last week I think it was, maybe 2 weeks ago. And this is where Solomon Kane makes his journey to the New World, and he arrives in the first quest, in the first story, at an abandoned village where the people of this land, and he has to then deal with the Native Americans, try to get them on side so that he can go out and hunt down the deadly Wendigo, which is a very, very cool idea.
Yeah.
And then the other one of these that's attached to this as well is one that's proper old Salem witch hunting style.
Oh, yes.
The devil himself is involved, which is very, very cool. And it's been very interesting seeing how they're going to play this out, because obviously Solomon Kane has fought a lot of nasty, deadly creatures in his time, but now he's actually going to be facing off against the big bad himself. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Satan manifests himself on the tabletop, and how the witches do about their wicked way around Solomon Kane, which is very cool. Yeah. And yeah, of course, with everything Solomon Kane and everything that Mythic do, they've done some amazing artwork and bits behind the scenes as well. So there's a fantastic art book you can pick up, and loads of different extra bits and bobs and stretch goals and things like that as well. As I say, the guys at Mythic they run fabulous campaigns. So if you want to get stuck in that, check out all the live streams they've done. They recently did a really cool Let's Play of one of the newer scenarios as well. So go and check that out as well, and dive into this one and see what you think of it, because it's well worth a little bit more of an extra effort to get invested with this one, I think.
Yeah.
So
I am head over heels on this one though, because the miniatures in this really appeal to me. Okay. I love the game because you're playing the virtues of Solomon Kane. There's a really interesting storytelling mechanic to that. But I've got to say, when I'm not playing the game, I want those minis for RPGs.
Did you see the miniature of the new darkness mode, like the anti-virtue? Look at that.
Oh, it's just incredible. Ben, I can totally see myself using these miniatures to play a kind of like Witch Hunter Van Helsing style RPG. Yeah. And it's just like, oh man, because like, think about it, right? Oh, the dungeons, old cathedrals, the whole monster hunting kind of thing. Everything you need. There's talk, and if they reach the right number of stretch goals, I think there's 150 miniatures or something in that. It's and I'm telling you, every one of them comes with its own unique sculpted base. They are beautifully detailed. This is as boutique as it gets. I love it.
If you're looking for some miniatures that you maybe want to play something like, I don't know, Dracula's America.
Yes.
From Osprey.
Yeah.
Suddenly you've got a massive miniatures range that does all scales working together with the scales and everything like that you could use for that. Very nice for a skirmish game. So yeah.
There are some things I really want from this. Like, I love the models for Matthew Hopkins. I would love to use that as just like the head of a witch hunter's warband in Mordheim or something. Although I'm curious to know how they'll handle him story-wise, because he was a bit of a odd character in history.
Yeah. He wasn't the nicest chap.
No, definitely not the nicest chap. Yeah.
Some of the monsters in it, though, I love the ghost kind of the figures in it. That ogre is just amazing.
Yes, I'll see if I can find that.
That ogre is just to die for. Look at that. Ben, when you said it was a lovely sculpt, like, my word, what a sculpt that is.
And I remember they were telling me about this model, I can't remember if we talked about this in our world chat or not.
Yeah.
But they were saying about how the reason they have the ogre in it is that this time period that Solomon Kane is set in, that's about the time you see the usage of the word ogre appearing in France. So one has appeared. That's why he's facing it.
Love it. No, this is as a collection. It just really, really appeals to me, and I love the prospect of vampire hunting, ghost hunting, and as a group of witch hunters, trying to make our way through some weird scenarios. So it looks to me like one where there's just a ton of other capabilities with this. Did you see the picture where they did the miniatures comparison?
Yes,
it was quite interesting. That's went up kind of recently, actually.
I'll just find that now.
Let's see if you can find that.
There's a lot to scroll through.
Oh, just so much in that game, isn't there? Yeah, check that out. So Solomon Kane is in the middle there. He's the guy painted in black. So you can get an idea of some of the other ranges that it works with. So it's right bang up there with in scale terms with the Age of Sigmar type models, with the stuff from Shadespire. Really interesting. And the Rising Sun stuff is about the same scale as well.
I'd say its proportions are a little off, but yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah, that's one of the larger models. That's one of the larger figures from Rising Suns.
Yeah,
not the monsters, but one of the larger troop figures.
Yeah,
I mean. Yeah.
But the quality of these miniatures is superb, and that to me that just screams RPG stuff. I don't mind. The game is amazing, but I'm looking at it going, who knows? In past Kickstarters they've done RPGs. I think there was an RPG for Mythic Battles.
There was, yeah.
So who knows? After this Kickstarter's over, who knows where that game and that range could head?
I would love some more dark fantasy like that. That would be perfect.
On the topic of cool RPG miniatures, while I'm at it,
oh, Ben's very excited about this one.
Ben, have at it. Critical Role miniatures are coming our way.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, Rush Charles was sharing some of these amazing miniatures that he was 3D sculpting for the Critical Role team. So this was for Vox Machina, who was the adventuring party from the original campaign, and also for the Mighty Nine, who are the new party from campaign 2 that has started. I think they're on like episodes 15, 16 at the moment. So it's just starting out. But these miniatures were so good that they have now taken them alongside Steamforged Games and the Critical Role, who have kind of stepped out on their own now for a little bit, to do their own range of miniatures on Kickstarter. They've made it very, very simple. You pay about 45 quid in English pound sterling, and you get yourself both the Vox Machina crew and the Mighty Nine, plus some additional miniatures for Taryon Darrington and his Warforged called Doty, and also the likes of Shakaste and Pumat and Pumat and his Simulacrum from the new campaign as well. Mm-hmm. The miniatures are all going to be done in the same kind of style of plastic as you've seen them working on for the likes of Guild Ball and Dark Souls and that kind of thing. So you think about that detail and everything like that. They're going to be very, very nice and very, very, very boutique. And a lot of people have been diving in on this, even though they don't really normally collect miniatures, because obviously the Critical Role audience is massive. Mm-hmm. And for anyone who doesn't know about it, it's a role-playing thing that's been set up via Geek and Sundry. This was a couple of years ago now, where they were playing through D&D live every Thursday. Now they've gone out on their own. They're still doing stuff through Geek and Sundry, but they're going to be moving on to their own premises and doing their own studio work as well and doing their own thing. But the campaign has brought a lot of people back into the world of D&D. It's what inspired me to get back into D&D as well, playing it again in 5th edition. But it's absolutely fantastic. The characters are looking amazing. They've had real input from the cast and everything like that as well. So if you like Vox Machina, if you like the Mighty Nine, if you like Critical Role, if you like role-playing miniatures for some of the more sort of esoteric side of things in the world of D&D, then this is something for you to check out, because they are looking absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's wonderful stuff here. Only 6 days left on that, guys. So if you fancy getting stuck into that, now's a good time to go over and drop.
I'm also just going to add as well, as I say, it's very, very simple. So there's no stretch goals or add-ons for this. But That doesn't mean that Rush Charles isn't going to sculpt more characters from like the background and the enemies and the villains and all that kind of thing as well, because that could be around the corner, which would be very nice to see.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see for a new Kickstarter in the future as well. But yes, amazing
Absolutely.
stuff if you love Critical Role.
Fantastic. Okay.
I need to watch this Critical Role.
Oh,
actually. I haven't
so
watched
good.
it.
It's so good. It is so good. Right. Last one. What's our last Kickstarter for today?
Our last one is from Modifius Entertainment, and it is the Kung Fu Panda board game.
That's me! Okay.
Yeah.
How we-
This is.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
So yeah, this is from the guys at Modifius. They've taken the Kung Fu Panda board game to Kickstarter. It's got about 14 days left on the campaign. It's a 2 to 4 player cooperative game where you play as Poe and the rest of the gang, taking on all kinds of dangerous foes that they meet in the movies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The really interesting thing about this is that everything is done in almost real time, in sort of stages. So what you'll do is a sand timer will be flipped over, and you have to roll your dice and try and get the right moves to take out the enemies around the table before the sand timer runs out. Then you get a moment to pause, and you have to try and sort of take control of what's happening on the tabletop. And then you get another time session where you've got to roll the dice quickly and try and defeat as many enemies as you can, get to areas free, innocents and stuff like that. And you go through like this until the end of the game, which I thought was really, really cool, because it kind of gives you that kind of like quick and lightning fast kung fu style movie thing going on. But you've also got to work together as a team, and it's got tactical planning built in there as well. The other really cool thing about this is the Dial of Destiny, which is attached to every one of the different characters. And when you roll certain things on your dice, it turns the Dial of Destiny, which then activates monsters and traps and story elements and all those kind of things as well on the tabletop. So you've not only got to plan out what you're doing with your own dice when you're going to attack all the creatures on the table, but you've also got to work out whether or not you're pushing it a little bit too far, and you're making the Dial of Destiny turn too much to sort of activate more enemies and stuff like that. So it's very, very cool, very, very fast, very, very interesting take on a cooperative board game. So yeah, very nice.
Yeah, we're starting to see a few more of these board games with sound timers and stuff coming through. I've seen the guys in the studio here playing, believe it or not, Ben, it's a truck game. A truck game where there's sound timers built into the truck. I don't know anything more about it than that, but there is a Let's Play, I believe, on the way.
Yeah, Lance picked that one up at UK Games Expo.
Yeah. Right. Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you, Sam. Tomorrow, I have to grovel.
We're looking forward to it.
Got my balls utterly busted last week. So so tomorrow will be a groveling session in XLBS as we recap and go over the comments from the which should we punt for? Miniatures that we can use across various different things that we're doing, or do we trust the creators, trust the game creators to do something amazing? We've had a debate about it, and yes, that and a few other things. I've a lot of people using me as a punch bag. Check it out tomorrow. Backstage keeps the show alive, guys, so if you're interested, please do come across joinbeastofwar.com, sign up to Backstage, and join us in the XLBS. It's a relaxed, chillaxed Sunday show where we talk about all of the interesting and heavier topics from time to time.
And occasionally melt Justin's brain.
And we like to melt Justin's brain. But there'll be no Justin this week.
No.
But you can check out last week's where I utterly melted his brain.
That's why he's not here this week.
Thank you. And most importantly, thank you. Have a great week of gaming. We'll see you next week. Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And be sure to check out beastofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming Let's Plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.